So to set up Eevee, we're just going to switch over to rendered mode right up here. We're going to switch over to our rendering engine, Eevee, and there we go. So we're not going to get into this too much. We're just going to go, I'm going to give you guys my go-to settings for this stuff. Some go-to Eevee settings up here. I'm going to switch on ambient occlusion. That's going to help us get the contact shadows going. I'm going to really crank this up to something like a value of 2 to really make that maybe a value of something like 5 actually, and then a factor of like 2, which will help just get those contact shadows. Turn on screen space reflections. We'll do turn on motion blur. We're going to talk a bit more about motion blur as we go. All these settings here should be good. The light itself, I'm going to select that. I'm going to go over to the light properties. I'm going to switch this over to sun, and I'm going to give this a strength of value of 1. And I'm just going to kind of rotate this around to something like this. And we can kind of scrub our scene like this to see what we got. You can see our shadows here are very chunky. So what we need to do is go into our shadow properties. We're going to turn on contact shadow. We're going to crank this distance up something like 5, which is going to just overall help those contact areas right there. I'm going to turn the angle down to something like something, small, like 2, maybe like 5, something like that. And then you can see we're getting this really distracting specular highlight here. So what I'm going to do is just select this grid, go over to shading mode and just hit new shader. And then what we'll do is turn down specularity. And then when we come back, that should be gone. We'll leave the specular highlights on our preview objects, on our animatable objects. And then we'll set up the infinite room in the next chapter, which is going to essentially make this background kind of fade out into nothing.